This video shows how to use push connectors to make splices. This item right here has two sides, and I'm going to show you how to release this in just a moment. And we're going to put the wires into these ends and then push them down to make a connection. Now, if your connector comes and it doesn't have both of the sides loose or up, you may need to take a small knife like this and simply just lift the legs right here. Just give that a little lift there. You'll see that come up. And a lift here. There we go. So now we have both of them up. We will be installing the wires that we're splicing into the clear portions. Now, let's look at the scenario where we would use this. Now, in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to take some pixels, and let's just say we have 3.5 inch spacing here, and we really need something for a prop where we need to go a longer distance. In that particular case, what we can do is just cut off a pixel. So now we have a long length of 3.5 inch or 3 inch wire, and then also another section over here, and you're just cutting out extra pixel. So now we have a much longer connection that allows us to maybe go between two sections of a prop that have a larger gap. All right, now the next thing we need to do is identify where the wiring hooks up. Now, if you look closely, you may use your phone in the magnify mode and look for data, positive and negative. In our particular case, we have negative on the outside with this white stripe, data in the middle, and positive on the outside. And you'll see the same thing corresponding over here. The second thing we need to be concerned about is the data direction. Now, when you get a whole bunch of pixels laying on the ground, it can be kind of hard. Which way is the input? Which one is the output? On pixel nodes, you can typically tell by looking inside the pixel. Inside, you'll see something that says like 12 volts or positive or plus sign. That's your positive. And then usually in the middle is the data. And that will usually have either DI, that's data in. Data in is coming from, so if this is DI here, data in coming from the controller, then going out. And on the other side, you may see the letters DO, data out. All right, so we do need to keep those in mind. So we need to have the data out going to the data in. All right, now we've trimmed off our wires. We do not need to do any stripping of the wires. We just need to separate them. So I'm going to go ahead and use my nippers here. I'm just going to come in between them like they're toes, separate these, and I'm just going to pull them back so we have a little section of cable here. All right, in that particular case, I pulled off a little too much, so I'm just going to come back and trim this off a little bit. All right, so now we've got our separated wires. I'll do the same here for the other receiving end. There we go. All right, so now we have our wires. We just need to put them into these holes. So let's go ahead and again, make note that you need to put them in, of course, usually the same order. So in this particular case, I'm going to start with the negative on the top. So I'll just push this into that hole, and then the data wire and the negative wire. All right, so if you've cut them flat, they should be pretty even. You can flip it over and look inside to see that your wires have been fully seated and gone all the way to the back. All right, and now what we're going to do is just push these down. Now, you probably can't push down with your fingers. This does need to make a splice connection. Use a pair of pliers. You can use lineman's pliers like this, or just these kinds of pliers. And just give that a push down, and that will cause the connection to seal up and lock in place. And now we'll just go ahead and inadvertently push this on there. So again, making sure that we're wiring the same to the same. We've already checked to make sure, of course, we're going the right direction in this particular case. I need to put the wires in, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that in there. And get my data wire in here. Looks like I may have bent those a little bit. Okay, so I've got all my wires in there, made sure they're nice and flush, they're pushed down, going all the way in. So now go ahead, just take my pliers, give this a push down, And we have now completed our mechanical and electrical connection. And so your connection is now complete. Now, of course, if you are replacing a pixel and you need to put them on both sides, you may need to cut out a pixel that's bad and then put one on one side and one on the other. We hope this has been helpful. And of course, if you ever have any questions, reach out to us at holidaycoro.com/contact us.